Welcome to Virtual First Look. I'm your host, Matt Vitale. This is the show where we invite startups to sit down with some of Australia's most seasoned investors and find out if they've got what it takes. So today we've got Max and Leah from Laughscape. Guys, tell us why you're here today.
Well, we're here to probably hear some truth bombs. No, we're here to talk to the guys in there and share our business and why we started it, and either get some advice or see what we do next.
Fantastic. Well, we've got 3 seasoned investors in there, just itching to have a chat with you, and yeah, they like a laugh too, so you'll be absolutely fine.
Oh, no pressure.
All right, let's do this.
G'day.
G'day.
How you going?
Good, how are you?
G'day.
Hi,
Max.
Leah. G'day, I'm Judy.
G. I'm Adam.
I'm Monica. Hi.
How we going? Very well, thank you.
Yeah, good, excited to learn more about your business.
Great. Go for it.
Go for it, yeah.
All right. So, I'm not sure if you guys have ever struggled to fall asleep before with racing thoughts or overthinking, not being able to switch off. That was a problem that I had a couple of years ago with pressures of having a young family. We've got 2 kids, some businesses and things like that. And I found that other practices like traditional meditation apps or watching an old TV show or turning to things like having a few beers before bed or even sleeping tablets. There were some habits that I didn't want to really fall into, and also the things that I was listening to weren't designed for you to fall asleep, or they would be too serious. So with a comedy background in comedy, we tried a different approach where we used the fundamentals of mindfulness and added some humour. So we created Laughscape, which is an app that hosts some of Australia's best comedians, and we do sleep stories and daily de-stressors. So sleep stories are long-winded stories about nothing, which is Seinfeld's pitch, like a show about nothing. But they're comedians telling relaxed stories with meditative music in the background, all designed for you to take your attention away from your own thoughts and put it into these stories. And it seems to work for a group of people that, are struggling to fall asleep, and we get a lot of feedback saying they tried it, they laughed, and then they woke up in the morning. So it's just something we've tried. We never thought we'd be app developers, but
Here we are. It sounds awesome. As someone who has listened to the dulcet tones of Harry Styles telling a sleep story to go to bed at night, I totally get what you're building. I'm just curious about your traction to date. What have you built so far? Can you give us a sense of sort of where you are in your growth journey?
Sure. Do you want me to?
Yeah, we've been live for a year
Yep.
now. We launched, May 2021. To record the comedians, we used our walk-in wardrobe. So in between many lockdowns, we used to have a revolving door of comedians coming in and out. We had Tommy Little.
And I should say the wardrobe was because acoustically it sounded the best, and we weren't able to record anywhere else during some Victorian lockdowns. So,
Yeah, we have a studio now. So.
But to date we have about 30,000 users, and we've had over 3,000 kind of in-app purchases and subscriptions. But that's kind of off the back of very little marketing. Just the comedians doing their little reach outs here and there, and probably under $10,000 worth of marketing with Facebook and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
I was curious about your audience. Where are you finding your listeners are from? Are your comedians Australian, or a little bit more about who's using it on both sides would be interesting.
well, I have a background in kind of beer brands and online bookies and sports bet and things like that. So I've been amongst the demographic of men between 25 and 45 and 50. So I was really conscious of building a brand that appealed to males who unfortunately have a little bit of stigma attached to traditional mindfulness apps and mindfulness itself. So our branding was not to be, quite more harsh tones and artwork and all our messaging that we send out skewed towards men a bit more. But in saying that, I think it's about 60-40 females between 25 and 35, which of course is great.
I'm hogging all the questions.
I'm interested to know in terms of like the benefits for the community as well. Like, is this a good, have positive impacts for your users, or you know, and anything you can observe on it?
For sure.
Yeah, we've had really good reviews within the app stores saying that it's helped them. They've used other apps before that they hasn't resonated with them, and then they've found something finally that has worked for them. We got a wonderful review of the week. Someone going through a really hard time with a divorce and things like that, saying that this is the only thing that they found that helped them in a good mental state.
Yeah.
People in hospital having eye surgery, or during the lockdowns when in hospital, they had no one was allowed to see them. So this was their thing that they used, you know, to help with the isolation and pass the time while they were going through something tough.
And also we have, there's this comedy sleep stories, and then our other kind of, not product but category I guess, is these daily de-stressors, which are more like your 5-minute calm down. You've got a terrible housemate, you're dealing with grief. So what we've found is we've got an amazing one from Christy Whelan Brown, who she went through about $100,000 worth of IVF to get pregnant, and she did a 5-minute pregnancy setback, which was just raw, honest.
Yeah.
And that's been
It's
insane.
like someone's taking your hand and talking to a friend. It's something, you know, heartfelt
Without
advice,
bullshit,
or
almost.
the journey that they've been on, the personal experience and things like that. So it's
So we've had some really amazing tweets about, you know, people dealing with these issues like grief and stuff, saying it's just great to hear someone else going through it, but also not sugarcoating any of it. So yeah, that's been, the feedback like that's insane, which is nice.
Yeah. And what are your thoughts around longevity of subscribers? Are they coming on and using it for a defined period, or are they staying longer term? And how do you sort of keep them, you know, I guess reinvigorate content and keep them engaged?
Well, we have statistics. You know, on the back end, we can see the comedians who are tracking better than the others. So obviously, we re-engage with those comedians. Speaking a lot to the you know, early adopters, we're still in that phase of people trying us, and I think retention is okay, but it needs to be better.
Classic. And what about the content? Who owns the IP of what you're creating in the app?
Yep. So we'll pay the comedians a fixed fee, and we own the IP of all of the content that they've made, including the artwork. So we'll have a little photo shoot with them afterwards and create all the artwork that we use for social content, and even some video and stuff like that as well.
Yeah. And what's your big vision? What does success look like for you both?
Put the kids through school. No, I think we're only dabbling in a very small market here. We actually won a Google Award last year, which was just really, we thought it was a scam, so I deleted the email, and then a little award rocked up, and it's Google Play Awards, and we won Best Hidden Gem, which was across the US, UK,
Canada,
Canadian, New Zealand, Australian market. So it was a super amazing award. The problem that happened was a lot of people in America downloaded it and they listened to Aussie comedians, and it didn't quite resonate with them. And that was obviously a problem, but it showed that there was a little bit of interest there. And I think if we got over there and you know, start with the lesser known comedians over there, and they're all friends and they talk and they tell two friends and they tell two friends, and hopefully then you get, you know, biggest comedians over there. So I think, I haven't measured it in a metric yet, but I think just being able to get over to the UK and the US and just get some people on and have a bit of fun over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just want to enjoy it too, which we are.
yeah, totally.
Can't wait to listen. So thank you so much for pitching. It's been awesome to learn about the business, and all the best for the next chapter. Sounds great.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So guys, how'd you think you went?
Well, no one left, so I think that's all right. Yeah, it was great. It was nice hearing those questions from people that, you know, are geniuses and we hadn't kind of met before, because you can get those questions from friends and family, and but they're pointed and they know what they're talking about. So it was really good. It was really good.
Fantastic.
Very beneficial.
Yeah, unless they bagged us in there, and then therefore I take everything back.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming today, guys.
worries.
And yeah, best of luck on the campaign. Really exciting.
Thank you.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
See you later.
Well, I was curious if you were saying there's a device that goes with the app.
There's a device that goes with it, yeah, it's a Bluetooth. You can connect into the app without messing around with headphones. So I think there's scope there to be on the app. Yeah, I think it makes meditation really accessible for people, I guess, who aren't familiar with it. But I just wonder also about customer, just reinvigorating content, and it sounds like they've come a really long way in terms of, different fit for a different audience, but also there's, obviously wholesale opportunity with that as well.
Yeah, I think from like knowing the private health insurance market, that actually their real customer may even be that, where you see that those guys, if they're taking pressure out of people's anxiety and mental health issues, that's just a mammoth benefit for society. So the private health insurance and even the health industry might actually really like what they're doing. So I wouldn't be surprised if they've actually got some really big, strong ways of paying for what they're doing that aren't necessarily the end user.
For sure.
Well.
I, in fact, saw a review from someone who was in hospital who was unable to move, and that was kind of their way of getting through the time that they had in hospital. So, yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's awesome. I can't wait to listen to it. I mean, I have a funny picture in my mind of like laughing whilst trying to fall asleep that I can't reconcile. Like, I don't know what that would be like as an experience. But I would be curious to learn more about the team. They obviously are both not from a technical background, and they mentioned that they, didn't see themselves building an app. So not a concern, just more something I'd like to learn more about, which is who else is building it alongside them, who has built that app, is that an app warehouse? Like, what's that look like? So I'd be curious to learn about that as well.
What I really liked was their really strong content people.
Yes.
Like their background
Exactly.
sounds very strong content, and I think that's a forgotten asset base. Like building out that library is really exciting in terms of assets.